Let's talk about wolves. What is significance of wolves in Serbian tradition, and what is spiritual power of wolf in general? What is the purpose of the wolf? What wolf represents and how wolf can be utilized in magic and sorcery? Well, in Serbian tradition, wolf means three things. Wolf as a spiritual animal. With spirit of wolf you can communicate and work. And wolf as a representation of the ancestors, of ancestral spirits. To us Serbs and many other Slavic peoples, wolf has strong totemic meaning, protective meaning, and spiritual meaning. As spirit of ancestor, wolf can be benevolent or malevolent. Benevolent wolves are known as good wolves or protective wolves, and malevolent wolves are known as werewolves. So let's speak about that. First, let's examine wolf as animal with which spirit you can work with. I don't have a lot of experience with this, but just as we humans have collective consciousness, the same can be said for any animal species. So when you are working with the spirits of wolves, you are working with spirits of individual wolves as well as their collective consciousness. And collective consciousness of wolves can be used for defense, protection, destroying enemies, soul travel, and inhabiting and reaching into chthonic realms and the essence of the sun. But right now, let's talk about wolves as ancestors. The following comes from my personal gnosis with Slavic god Dibog, who is also known as the wolf god. When I say Dibog, I refer not to the sun god as many think, but I refer to the Dabadale, Slavic god of underworld and the dead. According to him, the wolf is a way in Slavic tradition to approach ascended ancestors. So in our myth and legend, when we talk about wolf, it's usually not about wolves as animals. Most of the time we talk about wolves as ascended ancestors. And then all of those customs you find in different Indo-European cultures, and all of those myths make sense. For example, two wolves sitting near the throne of Odin. Okay, if you look at it as wolf, like spirit of animal, then that doesn't make sense. But if we look at those wolves as ascended ancestors, and then when we observe myth of Odin once again, then everything makes sense. It perfectly ties into Odin as Lord of Valhalla and all other mythological lore. And then you can indeed work with wolves as ascended ancestors. Not every ancestor is ascended, not every ancestor is wolf. So only those most powerful ancestors which accumulated great power and knowledge can be considered wolves. Now let's talk about werewolves. Now werewolf is a malevolent aspect of powerful ancestors. Werewolf is that type of individual who, while alive, was extremely powerful but was also an extremely baneful. Werewolf can become either man who was in life extremely violent or man who wasn't properly buried in life. In order for somebody to become werewolf or malevolent ascended ancestor, he has to have enormous power within his soul. Now, how to approach werewolves and wolves, ascended ancestors and their malevolent version? I suggest approaching them through some of the deities associated with them. In Germanic tradition it is Odin, in Slavic tradition it is Dabadalaim, in Celtic tradition I don't know which deity it is, but every single tradition has some gods which can be used as a gateway to approach wolves and werewolves as spirits of ancestors, as I explained earlier. So, what are the benefits of approaching those spirits? When you approach them through the gods, which have authority over them, it is much safer, and it is really a waste of time for me to actually give you my methodology. Just call one of those deities I mentioned and they will give you the most appropriate way of approaching wolves and werewolves. So, what are the benefits? Wolves and werewolves teach extreme forms of necromantic alchemy. They teach extreme ways of prophecy and spiritual self-defense. They impart great wisdom and power, and they are extremely easy to manifest and feel, because for some reason, due to great amount of death essence, they can manifest in between spiritual and physical world. So if you have any trace of astral senses, it is extremely easy to feel them, and they are really powerful spirits, and I really suggest checking them out for every practitioner and sorcerer, especially those of European descent. Like, everybody can contact them, but this video is mostly made for those of Indo-European descent. So, thanks for watching and see you in next video.